This video covers the IGCSE Biology Objective 8.3.3 on the 2025 CAIE syllabus to investigate factors affecting transpiration rate. So let's just take a look at the factors. We're going to be looking at the investigation of two factors. There are other factors that we'll discuss later, but in terms of investigation, you just need to know about two of the factors. And so what are these factors? They're environmental situations that are going to affect how transpiration, which we've talked about, the loss of water vapor from the leaf, how quickly or slowly that will happen. So temperature is going to affect the evaporation of water that is from the cells, the outside of the cells, and the diffusion of the water molecules, the water vapor molecules, out of the actual leaf itself. So temperature, the outside temperature, the atmospheric temperature will affect how quickly or slowly both of those will happen. And then we have wind speed. Wind speed is going to affect how quickly or slowly water vapor is going to diffuse out of the leaf, and then therefore will in fact affect the water potential gradient. So what happens between the inside of the leaf and the outside of the leaf, as far as the atmospheric conditions of the water potential. So let's take a look at how this investigation happens. So we use a tool called a potometer, and so basically what you do for this investigation is you take a piece of the plant that you're planning to investigate. You want to make sure that you have leaves that are nice and big that you can then apply these various conditions to. You connect it to a tube filled with water, and then you have a calibrated pipette. All of this should be airtight so that air cannot enter and water cannot evaporate out. The only way it can evaporate out is through the plant leaves itself. And so this is the setup that you would have, this type of potometer. There are other versions of potometers that you can see, but basically they all work the same way. You're looking at a calibration, and then you would subtract the difference in the movement of water. So let's just see how that works. So here is an actual setup of a potometer, and basically the water level is there at the red arrow, and so you make sure that all of the components are airtight. And what will happen is, as you apply either temperature or wind speed to the leaves, the water should move through the tubes and out of the leaf, evaporate and diffuse out of the leaf. And you can see there's a little air bubble there that would show us the water moving through the calibrated pipette. So this potometer is a tool that's used to estimate transpiration rates by measuring the rate of water loss. And so the higher the rate of water loss, the higher the rate of transpiration. It's the dependent variable in an investigation. So our independent variable either would be temperature or would be wind speed. So basically, in these investigations, each factor will increase or decrease the rate of transpiration based on how it changes the rate of photosynthesis or the water potential gradient. So on the left, we have temperature. And so what we can do is we can use a lamp, or we can use some sort of heating device to create this atmospheric condition, and thereby measure how increasing or decreasing temperature would affect the transpiration rate of that particular plant. Every plant will be slightly different. On the right, we have the wind speed. So we just set up a fan around the leaf or leaves, and again, we can have slow fan speeds or fast fan speeds, and that would then create the wind speed that would be in the atmosphere, and we can see how quickly or slowly the transpiration rate occurs dependent on the wind speed. So as we increase temperature, then the rate of transpiration is going to increase. And the converse of this is also true. If we decrease temperature, then the rate of transpiration decreases. So what's going to happen here is, number one, we're going to have more water evaporating from the outside of the leaves, but we also will have more photosynthesis happening, because the hotter it is, the faster the molecules are moving. There's more kinetic energy, the enzymes are moving faster, and so those reactions are going to be happening much more. As we increase wind speed, we also will see an increase in transpiration. This is because what happens is, as the wind blows past the leaf, it's blowing the water molecules that have diffused out of the leaf away, leaving a potential gradient that is lower outside of the leaf. So water molecules are going to want to move outside of the leaf much faster because of the potential gradient. So therefore, when you increase the wind speed, you will increase transpiration. And the converse of this is also true. If you decrease the wind speed, then you decrease transpiration. So these are just two factors that you can actually test in the lab. Like I said, there are more factors that we'll take a look at a little bit later, but these are the two that you can potentially investigate in the lab. So hopefully you'll have a chance to do this in the laboratory so you can see how a potometer works and how these factors will affect transpiration rates.